Shawn and Marlon Wayans had some pretty big shoes to fill. Born only a year apart, they were not only brothers, they were best friends, and their career reflected that. This is part 3 of a series. In the first part, we chronicled the Wayans family childhood and the career of Big Brother Keenan. So I'll kick this video off with the start of their careers. Shawn and Marlon are the youngest of the Wayans brothers. Shawn, born in 1971, and Marlon in 72, which leaves a 13-year gap to older brother Keenan.
Yeah, so we couldn't help but be close. When you sharing a bed for 17 years, he's a good cuddler though.
Shawn graduated from the Bayard Rustin High School for the Humanities, named after civil rights activist Bayard Rustin. Marlon, on the other hand, graduated from Fiorello H. LaGuardia School of Music and Performance Arts. After high school, he attended Howard University but dropped out after 2 years. Shawn and Marlon got their first film role via Big Brother Keenan in I'm Gonna Get You Sucka, and if you blink, you'll miss it. Shawn started working on In Living Color as a production assistant, but quickly moved to DJ SW1 for the first 2 seasons.
I remember you as SW1. You were the DJ on In Living
right.
Color.
I used to fake DJ, and ain't that nice?
You were faking it?
I can't fake it. At least I told you I was like,
Wow!
I was an actor. What? Nobody thought Damon was a real clown. Why I gotta be a real DJ?
In season 3, he was added as a featured performer, where he got to contribute to the writing of and performing sketches. Ice Poe, the sidewalk poet, and Tony Rome. Marlon tried really hard to make his parents proud by finishing college, but after 2 years he left to pursue a career in comedy. He was really worried to tell his parents he was dropping out, but deep down inside they knew he was going to join his brothers. Marlon joined the cast of In Living Color as a featured performer in season 4. His time was short though due to the fallout of Keenan and Fox. He had some pretty funny sketches. He played Luther the ugly guy and Snuff A. Lufficus. Even though their performances were limited on Color, it was a learning experience for them. They got to see the ins and outs of producing a TV show, so in a way, Color was their college. Marlon's first big movie role came in 1992 with Mo Money. Co-starring brother Damon, he looked like a seasoned professional on the big screen. In 1992, Marlon was cast and paid to play Robin on Batman Returns. However, the Robin character was removed from the movie altogether. The reasoning was that the film already had a bunch of new characters to introduce, like Catwoman, the Penguin, and Max. In an interview in 2009, Marlon said that he still receives residual checks for a movie he was never in. Shawn and Marlon created Baby Way Productions, and their first project was the Wayans Bros show. The show was just about to be picked up by NBC, but the executives wanted them to replace John Witherspoon as Pops with another actor. The role of Pops was specifically written with John in mind. Shawn and Marlon both agreed that no one else could play the role of Pops and turned down a deal with NBC. A new network, the WB, was about to kick off and needed a flagship sitcom. The Wayans Bros was the first of the 4 sitcoms that aired as part of the original Wednesday night 2-hour lineup that helped launch the network, along with Unhappily Ever After, The Parenthood, and the short-lived Muscle. While in development, the series' working title was initially supposed to have been Brother to Brother, before the name of the series changed to The Wayans Bros. The show was fresh and funny. They produced 5 seasons and the show ended in May of 1999. Shawn played the role of the straight-laced, responsible brother who owned his own newsstand, while Marlon played the role of the scheming, wacky, irresponsible little brother. And John played the role of Pops, who was basically playing a version of his actual self. While the show was still airing, the brothers starred in and co-wrote Don't Be a Menace to South Central While Drinking Your Juice in the Hood, or simply Don't Be a Menace, which grossed $20 million at the box office. Following their brother's lead from I'm Gonna Get You Sucka, the movie was a parody of films like Boys in the Hood and Menace to Society. The last big parody movie before this was Hot Shots Part 2, so this was a perfect time for a movie of this nature. It was refreshing to see these parody movies come back to the box office, and Shawn and Marlon would become known for those such movies.
Do we have a talent? Huh?
Marlon branched out and landed 2 more film roles. In 1997, he starred as Kenny Tyler in The Sixth Man, and in 1998, he played Daryl Witherspoon in Senseless. Senseless was actually a really funny movie that I don't think a lot of people have seen. So if you get a chance to see it, I would recommend to go see it because it's one of the good ones that Marlon Wayans is in that's not a spoof.
Or outburst from you, and you are out of my classroom.
Oh, I'm sorry, Professor. That was my Tourette syndrome. Piss on me! I'm on fire! I just can't help. Michael Jackson's the Puerto Rican. OJ's on welfare. I see him on the line. I just can't help it. You look like Bob Hope. Dennis Rodman got a coochie.
1 year after their show ended, Shawn and Marlon co-starred, co-produced, and co-wrote Scary Movie, with Keenan as director. The movie was a spoof of late 90s scary movies like Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer, and The Sixth Sense. Scary Movie opened theatrically in the United States in July 2000, and debuted at number 1 at the box office, earning over $42 million its opening weekend. The film ultimately grossed over $278 million worldwide, making it a massive commercial success. Due to the initial success of Scary Movie, the studio wanted a sequel, and fast. They were given roughly a year to throw together another script and shoot it. Needless to say, the production suffered. The sequel, Scary Movie 2, grossed another $140 million. It still wasn't horrible, so the studio wanted a third installment. The Wayans brothers pitched their ideas to the executives, and the studio decided to hire writers and completely cut them out of the creative process, essentially stealing the Scary Movie franchise. The movies after that were not the same once the Wayans left. After a short break, Shawn and Marlon co-wrote, co-produced, and starred in the film White Chicks, alongside director Big Brother Keenan. 2 disgraced FBI agents go undercover in an effort to protect hotel heiress, the Wilson sisters, from a kidnapping plot. The film grossed over $113 million worldwide and became one of the highest grossing comedies of 2004. This film wasn't a spoof, so it was a bit outside their comfort zone, and the critics absolutely hated it. In 2006, Marlon starred in Behind the Smile, which was a drama based on the rise and fall of a comedian. It was written and directed by Big Brother Damon. Also in 2006, Shawn and Marlon co-wrote and co-produced Little Man. A wannabe dad mistakes a vertically challenged criminal on the lam as his newly adopted son. That film went on to gross over $100 million. After the release of Little Man, we really didn't hear much from Shawn Wayans again, although he did still perform stand-up. Marlon had a few bit roles after Little Man, but nothing major. In 2009, the Wayans brothers reunited for the film Dance Flick. This time, the next generation of Wayans talent joined the fray for the film. Nephew Damian Dante Wayans co-wrote and directed. Damon Wayans Jr. starred in the film as Thomas, and Craig Wayans was also a writer. I'll cover the next generation in the final episode of this series. A lot of other Wayans family members were also in the film. The film was yet another spoof, based around movies like Save the Last Dance, Stomp the Yard, and You've Got Served. On the opening weekend, the film ranked at number 5 in the top 10, with a little over 10.5 million in 2,450 theaters. The movie was poorly received by critics, but ultimately did turn a profit, roughly about 6 million. From 2009 to 2012, Marlon had a few more gigs. He was in G.I. Joe as Ripcord and Marmaduke as Lightning. In 2013, Marlon wrote and starred in A Haunted House with longtime producer Rick Alvarez. Together, they built Ugly Baby Productions. This was one of the first films that Marlon was the lone Wayans family member associated with it. And of course, this was another spoof movie based around movies like Paranormal Activity. The film grossed over $60 million with a $2 million budget. The film was poorly received by critics, but they made enough of a profit to produce a sequel in 2014. A Haunted House 2 grossed $25.3 million, which was better than the original. This film didn't fare well with critics either. In 2014, the Wayans brothers, Keenan, Damon, Shawn, and Marlon, reunited for a national stand-up comedy tour. They all truly enjoyed this experience in being together again. In 2017, Marlon landed a sitcom on NBC. It was loosely based on his life and it ran for 2 seasons. After it was canceled, Netflix picked it up for syndication. Marlon also signed a development deal with Netflix for 2 movies and a comedy special, Wokish. The movie Naked was a Groundhog Day-inspired movie, and Sextuplets, where Marlon played 6 different characters in the film. I say the critics got this one wrong. I really enjoyed this movie. And currently, at the time of this video, Marlon has just signed a development deal with HBO Max, a sitcom called The Book of Marlon, a 1-hour stand-up special, and a multi-act special which he will host. Even though both Shawn and Marlon got a bit of help from their family members, they managed to forge their own path in the entertainment industry. Is there a celebrity you'd like to see featured on the Bio Show? Drop a comment below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. They managed to form their own, god damn it, and a 1-hour stand-up special. Shit.